Hello everyone. We hope you're having a great day today. Since Yellowstone has entered our life, our perception of the Western genre has completely changed. Shaped by names such as John Wayne and Clint Eastwood, the Western genre was often regarded as overly masculine, violent, brutal, and of course, highly sexist. Unfortunately, all of these were true perceptions and still are to some extent. However, with Yellowstone, we saw that all these can be transformed, modernized, and presented in a much better format. Yellowstone revolutionized the genre with its unique take on all the characteristics of a typical Western production. It has male characters, but they know how to be vulnerable as well. It has violence, but it's combined with aesthetic cinematography that tames the brutality. It has sexist characters, but their approach is often bashed by yet another character, always delivering the message of who is right or wrong. Overall, it's a fresh take that made us fall in love with the Westerns at a time that we were least expecting. Thus, Yellowstone has a special place in our hearts as a great show with huge potential. Naturally, the fact that the universe of Yellowstone is gradually growing is one of the best things that can happen to the Westerns in our opinion. Therefore, we welcomed 1883 with open arms a couple of months ago, knowing that it will be just as good as Yellowstone. Our only worry was the fact that back in the 19th century, things were a lot different than today, which means all the problematic characteristics of the Westerns were present at that time. Since we were aware of this fact, we got worried about if 1883 would fall into cliché tropes of the genre, rather than following the revolutionary path of Yellowstone. Well, as of the 7th episode of the show, we can confidently say that we were wrong in our worries, and 1883 has nothing to do with those cliches, and yet, now, we're not sure if that's a good thing or not since we feel like the show might be lacking in the historical accuracy department. As we all know, it took centuries for a woman to gain their freedom and rights. Even today, we still have a long road to achieve the ultimate equality of rights and freedoms. Thus, whenever we watch or read historical fiction, we know beforehand that we cannot judge the era with today's standards, even though it's difficult to witness all those problematic and unfair incidents calmly. Still, it makes the show a lot more real and we get to truly witness a glimpse of history, which we appreciate. While 1883 is also pretty good at portraying a realistic view over the 19th century in the US, where people are going through a lot of horrible stuff, it also goes beyond that and, dare we say, even sugarcoats some scenarios in our opinion. This sugarcoating is especially apparent when it comes to the character of Elsa. A few weeks ago, when she first expressed her feelings toward Ennis to her mother, she received a pretty chilled-out response. And yet, the next day, when she became intimate with Ennis, Margaret changed her opinion and lashed out to her, warning her about the possible outcomes of the situation, particularly the pregnancy. We feel like the first response of Margaret, aka the chilled-out one, was too good to be true for a woman of the era, since illegitimate pregnancy and intimacy without marriage were some of the biggest horrors of that time for a woman. Unfortunately, there was no safety or security for a woman to enjoy her freedom back in the 19th century, meaning that they had to be extra careful at everything. In this week's episode, at episode 7, we witnessed a similar incident where Elsa was, once again, enjoying her freedom a little bit too much for a woman of the era. We know that she is surrounded by unusual circumstances. Still, it doesn't explain how she can move from one lover to another in seconds without considering anything. It seems like she is free to have anyone as her man, and is not to worry about her reputation, health, or life in general, which is seriously too good to be true. While watching her in her pants, riding alongside men, and enjoying her rancher experience as well as the young love, we feel like we are watching an alternative and dreamlike version of the past, rather than the real incident that could have taken place in the 19th century. Don't get us wrong, we love to watch it this way, we just don't buy it as a possible reality, and consider it unbelievable, which is an unlikely aspect as far as Taylor Sheridan's other projects go. Episode 7 also proved that Sheridan is determined to show us all the possible disaster scenarios that could have taken place at the time. We all know that the U.S. countryside is filled with dangers and 1883 has no shortage of it. In previous episodes, we already witnessed long rivers that are impossible to cross over, poisonous animals, bandits, and more. In this episode, we watched thieves and a tornado that took over the land. Although watching all these was a visual blessing and we had a lot of fun, at one point, one wonders what disaster will come next while slowly developing a numbness towards the tragedies of the show. Even the biggest tragedy of the show so far, the killing of Ennis, seems to have been overcome within just a few days with the coming of the Indian-American boy Sam. Thus, we feel like there is no need to worry too much about these characters or invest in their story, since they are likely to survive both physically and mentally. What do you think about episode 7 of 1883? Did you enjoy it? Do you think the show is historically accurate? Do you seek historical accuracy in these types of shows, or are you there only for the entertainment value? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.